Unlike the Chiron Sport, the Chiron Pur Sport is designed as a track-focused
monster, so you've got amazing levels of power.
Not to mention, it looks killer. Hey, my name is Andy, and this is Underrated, Overrated Bugatti Edition. Let's go. Now, I'm not going to cover every single Bugatti ever made, because if I did, we'd be here for hours. Bugatti has a history dating all the way back into the 30s, and so we're going to go from the late 90s up until now. Starting with the Bugatti EB110. This is the car that revived Bugatti after decades of nothingness. It brought them back to life, and it brought them a speed record at the time. The Bugatti EB110 was released to the public on Ettore Bugatti's 110th birthday, hence the name EB110. It was a very low production car. People like Michael Schumacher had one. It was a beautiful looking thing, and it's absolutely underrated. Next, we have the Bugatti Veyron, the original Veyron, the Veyron 16.4. It was the fastest car in the world when it came out. It was Bugatti staking their claim, and it was the first true production car to have over 1,000 horsepower. It had 1,001. It was an incredible looking thing. It was daily drivable, lavishly expensive, and has been owned by a countless number of high-profile celebrities.
This Bugatti right here costs 1.6 million.
Definitely underrated. Next, we've got the Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport. This car is also underrated because it is a 1,000 horsepower convertible. It's as simple as that. Next, we've got the Veyron Super Sport. As much as the Super Sport improved upon the Veyron and set a new speed record, I think that the car is a little bit overrated, because at the same time, if you're gonna spend a ridiculous sum of money, a Veyron will do the trick nicely. A Veyron Super Sport is just like Veyron plus one. It's just, I feel it's unnecessary, and I feel that it's quite overrated. Next, we've got the Bugatti Chiron. The Chiron, just like the Veyron, set a new precedent for Bugatti and for the world of hypercars. And I believe that the Chiron, this was a tricky one. It's a great looking car, but it has a lot of hype and attention around it. And it does use that same engine from way back in the Veyron, albeit modified and, updated. Look, I'm gonna say that the Chiron is a correctly rated car. Next up, we've got the Bugatti Chiron Sport. Now, the Chiron Sport is kind of like the Veyron Super Sport. It's a faster version, a more hardcore version, absolutely. But it's just, again, it's quite unnecessary and it's overrated. But on the other hand, the Chiron Pur Sport is actually an underrated car. Unlike the Chiron Sport, the Chiron Pur Sport is designed as a track-focused
monster, so you've got amazing levels of power.
The Pur Sport is much lighter, has upgraded hydraulic dampers, has a much more aggressive aero package, and is a much more track-focused machine. Not to mention, it looks killer. Next up, we've got the Bugatti Chiron Super Sport 300 Plus. Now, the 300 Plus regained the title of fastest production car from, I think it was Koenigsegg at the time, but it also is graceful, great to look at, and they haven't lost any of that overall build quality and luxury. Now, that's something Bugatti is killer at doing, building ludicrously fast cars that are as beautiful to look at as a Louis Vuitton handbag. They're just gorgeous. Now, I think that the Super Sport 300 Plus is an underrated car. Next up, we've got the Bugatti Divo. Now, the Divo is a track-focused, Chiron-based Bugatti. However, it has 1,500 horsepower, which is absolutely phenomenal. Everyone knows about the Chiron, everyone knows about the Veyron. The Divo kind of slips under the radar, but is a gorgeous looking thing, especially with those wheel vents, and it's underrated. It's as simple as that. Next up, we've got the Bugatti Bolide. Now, the Bolide was more of a thought experiment. It never actually eventuated. It promised a lot. It looked phenomenal. In fact, it looks like a bloody X-Wing fighter from Star Wars. It's a gorgeous looking thing, but it doesn't work in reality, kind of like communism. It's great on paper, but if you've ever actually seen communism, it's rubbish. This is just like it, so unfortunately, it's overrated. Next up, we've got the Bugatti Centodieci. And yes, that is how you pronounce it. I've heard Americans pronounce it, and God, it is shocking.
Buongiorno.
Centodieci. The 16-cylinder engine in the Bugatti Centodieci produces an eye-watering 1,600 horsepower. That's absolutely wild. Not to mention, it looks like a spaceship on wheels, borrows awesome design elements from the original EB110. It's a beautiful car and it's super underrated. Last but not least, we've got Bugatti Special Edition cars. Now, Bugatti Special Edition cars include everything from the Veyron Rembrandt all the way up to the Hermes Edition Chiron. The originals of these cars are already show-stopping enough. They're already engineering marvels. To make a special edition version, it's a little bit It's unnecessary if you ask me. All Bugatti Special Edition cars, in my opinion, are just overrated. Anyway, do you guys agree with my ratings? Let me know in the comments below. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more content just like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.